Hey, welcome everybody. I just got my parts in for Maggie. When I got the tractor, it already had dents in the hood here. I've never really cared about that. And then about 2 years ago, I was lifting up firewood, pieces of firewood into a dump truck, and one of the pieces tumbled off the back of the grapple and smashed up and put a big hole here in the grill. And then a few weeks back, when I was knocking over that big tree, one of the roots flung out and caught this and ripped it clean out. So we got a brand new grill, brand new headlight lens cover. Hopefully the lights behind it here that are just kind of hanging there, hopefully that'll come out no problem and just go right into the new grill. Let's get started. And for those wondering, this is a 2013 Mahindra 6110 shuttle cab. And I lifted the boom all the way up and I braced it and put a little pressure on that. It shouldn't fall anyway, it's hydraulic valve, but just in case, maybe a kid or a cat hits the joystick, I don't want it falling down, or if a line breaks or whatever. Always, you're not really supposed to stay under the boom, so take precautions there. And I also blocked the back tire just to make sure it doesn't roll out. It's like just a bunch of Phillips screws and a couple 10 mils. Lights are out. Let's get this main bracket up here. So I'll tell y'all what, there's two things I've found in this world that are just crazy expensive. One is anything that has to do with marine, boats, doesn't matter, and tractors. These parts are absolutely ridiculous. This silly headlight lens cover, $100. This plastic grill, $100. I had to replace both tie rods on the front end in the last 4 years. Initially, the first one I got, because it came with the little drag link part of it, because that's the only way the dealer sold it, $275 for a tie rod and a small chunk of steel. Absolutely insane. You can buy a tie rod for a car for like 35 bucks. It's crazy. Now I did have a problem where the right headlight, it broke it clean off. So I very well may have a bulb, maybe. That's what's left of it. All right, so it turns out I do not have one of those headlights in inventory. So we'll just slap it all back together. I'm gonna wash those headlights, maybe even give them a quick polish before I stuff them back in there. But should be a relatively simple repair here. Crap, basically already halfway done. So pretty. I do want to get that emblem out of there. And it looks like there's a seal in here too, which means we got to get these washers off here, these retaining washers. So I'm gonna have to pry these retaining washers off, get this seal out of here. See it right there. So it'll take just a quick minute. All right, so to get the previous lens cover off, they had this little washer and these little pegs here. These washers were around these pegs like that. And I was just gonna, I've dealt with these in the past, I was just gonna pry them up and peel them out, but I found it easier just to take a pair of pliers and grab onto the little piece sticking out. Just rock it back and forth, it breaks right off, and the whole thing comes right out. Now the emblem that came out of the middle here, like right there, had some like 3M foam tape, and it was all goobered up. So I just peeled it all off and put new 3M sticky tape on it. Well, this isn't 3M, but same. So that'll fix that. The light bulbs, the light fixtures themselves, I just hit them with some warm water and soap, and they cleaned up beautiful. So we'll get all this put back together, and there was the seal that went around the lens cover itself, around the edge here, and the sticky stuff on that is basically donezo. So I've got this super high-tack sealant stuff. You could use some RTV or something, or probably even super glue, or maybe even just, what's that stuff called? Rubber cement. But this stuff is actually designed for this. So that's what I'm gonna use. We got the new guy sitting right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start reassembly of the whole thing. I got my My supervisor's here watching, make sure I do it right. Get the emblem put on first. And that turned out beautiful, look at that. Easy peasy, no problem. And it's warm out too. Well, not warm, but I'm pretty sure the sun will help set this on good and tight. And this guy fits in here. Oh, crap. Almost forgot to get my seal on there first. All right, now let's get the new one in here. There it goes. It's just a push fit. I thought it was a clip fit, but it just pushes in. Now for this part, got 5 of these rubber washers that go onto your pegs. And then these little spring washers or spring clips or whatever you want to call them. Okay, so you can see it here. Got your little rubber washer, goes on the peg, and then your retaining washer. And I'm going to push those down with some pliers. And as far as these corners here, you can see the little plastic piece sticks out. It's not quite as tight as I want it yet, but once I get these center ones pushed down to pull the rest of it snug, then they'll stay a little bit better, I think. And like I said, I'm not particularly happy with how that looks in there with the sealant, but it's a doggone tractor and it already looks a million times better than it did. So I'm just gonna take some pliers, just like that. You could probably take a socket to do this as well, like maybe a 10 mil socket, and just push them down. I just happen to already have the pliers out. Socket actually looks like it worked better. That way you don't bend these retaining washers like I did here. So we've got a pretty uniform mount all the way around. It's not protruding anywhere. Bottom side sticks out further for sure, but I would want that so that anything can drain out of there if it needs to. That seal is not where it should be though. Putting the lights back in. Each light has 3 screws, or 3 bolts and 3 springs. And the spring goes in between. What the heck, dog? I swear that was the dog behind me, or behind the camera, not me. If it was me, I'd edit it out. Since it's the dog, I'm gonna leave it because it's funny. All right, so these 3 screws per headlamp, I'm assuming are also adjustment screws for angle adjustment, you know, to what direction the light's gonna go. But considering I virtually never use these lights, even when I'm in the dark, I use my, my overheads. I'm not too awfully concerned about that right now. I'm just gonna snug them up so that they don't jiggle around. And I can deal with that later. It'd be kind of tough to see that right now anyway. And I didn't have that replacement, so whatever. Just see what it looks like. Looks pretty good to me. There we go. I think she's ready to be installed. Be very careful if you're using an impact driver to put screws into plastic anchors. Well, holy cow. Hey, hey, closes right. There's just a gap right here that doesn't look right. Almost like the whole hood needs to tilt that way a little bit. Oh, shnikes. Whoa. All right, everybody, so that's it for this repair. I think it looks good. The alignment's a little bit off, but I think that's actually caused by the hood. Maybe something else, but I do got to show you one thing. I'm going to have to do a whole nother video about this. Check it out. So that's what I was talking about with the alignment, and I was just kind of looking everything over to see if I could find any reason for the misalignment. You can even see it up in here a little bit. Don't really quite understand that. But then I got to looking down here. Right here, look at that big old crack right through my main loader mount. That's bolted to the frame. Jeez, oh Pete's, I'm not looking forward to that. It is cracked all the way through, both sides, up to the weld right here. So it's gonna have to get completely grooved out all the way around and filled back in. Oh, it doesn't seem to be propagating. Honestly, I hadn't noticed anything. Bummer. And that's what I get for working this tractor the way I have. And I'm wondering if maybe something underneath is tweaked or bent to be causing the front end to sit funky like this. But then again, it might even just be the alignment of these guys, so not 100% sure. I'll have to dig into that. All right, everybody, you know the drill. If you got any questions or comments, throw it down in that section. Thanks for watching. Keep pulling on them bootstraps. We'll catch you on the next video.